right, United Row, welcome back everyone, and I hope you all continue to enjoy your evening as we get into our next matchup. This is a Macaroni League matchup between the San Antonio Rebellion and the Kansas City Carnage. I am joined by Far on the desk. How's it going, Far?
Oh, it's going amazing. Had a long night of production, but we've still got a long night to go. We just wrapped up a series between, I believe it was, shoot, who was it again?
Oh no, he's already forgotten.
Oh, I wasn't here. I was just watching.
All right,
Um,
talk about the series though. Let's. I know you talked a little bit about these players, how they did last week. Let's hear about it.
oh yeah. So Kansas City, unfortunately, bringing up a loss in week 1 against Santa Fe Kings. That was on broadcast. It was a very decisive series, 3-0 in favor of Santa Fe. However, on the opposite end with San Antonio Revenge, they won against New Orleans Curse 3-1, but recently lost 3-0 to Dallas. So it's kind of a bit of a toss-up. They are also not playing with their high style Bowser as a 160. It is going to be Divine, Dangerous for Life, and Maniac going up against Ultra, Doc Drewski, and Duck for Kansas City Carnage. This should be a very interesting series indeed.
Should be pretty interesting, especially because for San Antonio, we do expect them to be the top dogs, even without Bowser at the helm. I mean, this roster did go. I want to say Maniac especially had a very deep run last season, along with the Philadelphia Plague. Both Maniac and Bowser have been teammates for a while, so if he was playing tonight, I think we would see an interesting dynamic out of him. Now that he's not playing tonight, I think that opens the door for the Kansas City Carnage a little bit, especially with the expertise of Doc Drewski, who's been around for a pretty long time at this point, Far.
Oh, very much so. I've had the opportunity to talk to Doc throughout the preseason, a little bit into the main season, and he's feeling very, very confident with the roster he has going. So it's interesting to see how he's developed it so far. But getting into game number 1, just 30 seconds past. Not too much going on. Just the teams probing each other, trying to see how they want to go about the rest of this series. Bit of an awkward situation coming here from Kansas City. It's going to be shot on. First goal of the series going to Maniac on San Antonio Revenge.
And Maniac up incredibly quickly for this, finds Duck with no boost, and Duck did his best to keep the ball under control, but off the backboard, not a ton he could do in that situation with that angle, and as such, San Antonio scored incredibly early into game number 1, a big go-ahead goal as they look to take control of this series, Far.
Very much so. Duck trying to get one back for Kansas City quick. Unfortunately, couldn't find the touch off the backboard. A demo from Divine on Doc. That's going to put Kansas City in a bit of an awkward situation here. But that ball is sitting in the corner. No boost from any San Antonio players is going to leave some time. But Kansas City seem a little out of it on this in this first game, as they don't seem to be as aggressive as we know them to be from previous series.
Yeah, kind of clumped up here inside the corner. We saw Ultra and Duck in the same spot for a little bit, and that's kind of forced Doc Drewski back into this uncomfortable third corner position where Ultra is now going to contend with the ball. Big one towards the midfield. The Duck's not quite got the boost to contend with it, but he is able to keep it in play at the very minimum. Might open the door for KCC just a little bit more, but you got to keep an eye out for this counter attack because Maniac up. There's Dangerous as well, but not going to find the angle this time around, Far.
Great save coming from Ultra there on the goal line. Duck's going to be up off the pass from Doc, but a quick cut is going to cut that play short as this ball now fouling into that midfield area. Duck, the challenge on Divine is going to get it up into San Antonio territory, but that one's going to get immediately sent back as no Kansas City players are able to attack. Duck again up off the backboard. Ultra's trying to play. Not a lot of boost, not a lot of speed. Unfortunately, couldn't make a lot with that play. Doc's going to be the one to take over here, but Divine quickly up is going to make the cut and send that play packing home early.
But there's still a good sign of offense here from San Antonio. There is not a whole lot of boost. Kansas City has got it. In fact, it's only really Doc who's got any boost to work with that for the time being, and Maniac's got a free midfield to play with. Duck turns it away. I still got to imagine San Antonio in a pretty good spot to take this one home for that second goal. They've had consistent offense inside the box, and that's really what it comes down to. There's Dangerous for Life who slams it home.
Dangerous indeed. A phenomenal passing play. Maniac over to Divine. Divine getting a touch just over Ultra, not quite ready for it, and Dangerous sending that straight into the net. A great insurance goal for San Antonio Revenge here.
And this is what they do. I mean, from what it seems in the beginning of game number 1, once San Antonio are inside the half, they just turn up another level. They put up that extra little bit of speed, and Kansas City not really been able to contend with it for now, but at least inside the defense, Kansas City are somewhat solid at making these counterattacks opportunities at least potentially happen. So we'll see if they can do some more of that here deeper into game number one. Doc's not got any boost inside the corner, but he does find it into Ultra, who snacks it home. There's the first goal as they cut that 2-goal lead in half.
2:02 left on the clock. Great awareness from Ultra. Just try and get past that last defender there, and Ultra is just all over the shot. No one in net to defend. That's exactly what Kansas City need to get back into this game.
And we'll see if they can continue to add on to it, but still a tall task ahead of them. Doc is going to try to make quick work of it, though, inside the near post. He's looking for a big bump to open up the playing field a little bit more. Now Ultra, but turned away. Dangerous for life, has full control inside the right-hand wall, but no, he does not find the challenge. That means KCC are going to have that much more of a foothold to get this ball out of their half. So far, unable to do so, but you got to imagine that their chances are looking solid for a counterattack off the demo.
Absolutely. And Duck already looking for a shot on net. Just had a defender already up in his face, not letting him get any room. Maniac with control. Likes to leave it for Divine. Divine pass over to Dangerous. Dangerous with the back foot of very fatal mechanical errors. Now that's going to fall into the hands of Kansas City, but quickly turned away by Divine once again. Divine with a shot on target. Not enough speed to make a substantial play, though, as that one's going to get followed up quickly by an extra attacker. Maniac with a shot on target. Duck with the save.
Ooh.
It seems that Kansas City, if anything, is very much heating up on defense here.
They're certainly doing so, but they still need to find a way to break out of their half. They've been stuck for what feels like an eternity at this point. San Antonio continue to hammer that back forward and the near post in particular. That means Divine's going to have a little bit more playing room. He wants to grab this corner boost while he's at it, continue to starve Kansas City out of the play. But Duck is full right now. Maniac cuts it off, and he's got a little bit of room inside the corner to get something going, but with time off the clock, doesn't really have the time to do so. Needs to find something right here, right now.
Got to get something going. A quick play there from Ultra, trying to get on target, but unfortunately lost all the speed that the ball had there. It's going to get sent all the way back to Kansas City territory. Doc with the pass up to Duck. Duck looking for the shot, goes off the backboard, looking for an extra attacker. Doc with the shot, but Divine with the save. Another very dangerous situation coming from Kansas City as we enter into the final 10 here.
Oh, and Doug looking to get it in. No, it's turned away. And that was what feels like Kansas City's last potential look at an offensive attempt. As this one's still loose inside the midfield, maybe Ultra can get some magic going here, but without any boost, it's still looking unlikely as it finally is sent to the ground. San Antonio eke out game number one, but a tense last couple of seconds in regulation there, Farter.
It was a bit of a scare there for San Antonio. That one was falling perfectly on the backboard, and if they didn't have a defender quick to respond, Doc was all over it, and that could have been a 0-second tying goal. But overall, both teams feel a little bit slower than they normally do, but San Antonio is still very, very strong on that offensive half. They're going to be able to take that as far as humanly possible, but Kansas City's really got to wake up, especially on the offensive half for themselves in order to get back into the series here.
Yeah, a lot of the passing lanes cut off right now for KCC. Saw a little bit from Ultra and Duck, who were trying to find Dr. Ski, but at the end of the day, San Antonio inside their half were able to find that extra little bit of speed to cut off some of those lanes, and that's helped them more often than not. Saw a bunch of demos as well from San Antonio, or maybe not necessarily demos, but a bunch of bumps to kind of free up that backfield a little bit, get them out of their half very quickly. And the big thing that San Antonio had going this game, as you mentioned, Far, once they were inside the half, they did not let go. That was the game maker.
Very much so. And I've said many times in the past that game one is always a feeler game, trying to see how your opponent is going to go about the rest of the series and trying to adapt to that. And especially with all the physicality coming out of San Antonio there, Kansas City's got to react quick. Otherwise, that's going to be what causes them to drown.
Right then, game number 2, and it's going to be a long road ahead of San Antonio. We'll see if they are, a long road ahead of Kansas City as they look to figure it out and rebound into this series. And San Antonio get too far ahead. There's another potential look here as Divine says just wide off the woodwork. Maniac getting involved inside the corner. Dangerous for life. A deep third man at the moment is going to be called upon here to take control of the play. So far, like what I'm seeing from San Antonio. Slow inside their half, but fast once they are able to break out. And there's another demo as we can see them heating up once again, Far.
And that momentum change you were talking about can be very deadly for Kansas City, as they're expecting them to play it slow, and suddenly they're going fast, and it goes slow again, and it's back and forth and back and forth. A shot, a save, a shot, a save. And Kansas City come out of that one unscathed, as Duck now trying to push down to the opposite end of the field, get a goal going in favor of Kansas City. Ultra with the shot just a little bit high, no one there to take advantage. And now a double commit there coming from San Antonio. That one's going to leave it in an easy save. A bit of a team bump there on the Kansas City goal line, as now they're going to be scrambling on that defensive rotation. Not a lot of boots to work with, as this one falling in front. Doc trying to find it, can't find it. No. Dangerous trying to find the shot, can't get it. Ultra with the save off the shot from Maniac. Kansas City get away with it again.
Well, I can't imagine how they've done that. They're going to be thinking they're lucky stars, and now San Antonio is going to be stuck inside the half. Luckily, this time around, Kansas City has not quite got the boost to punish, but you got to imagine that was a dangerous move for San Antonio. And imagine how it would have felt if immediately after missing, they conceded, and it still very well could be the case, as that one is off the backboard. Ultra's on the loop around. He lets that one go over to Doc, and Doc has been a menace inside the corner more often than not. Can't let him get possession inside this spot, or else he will punish, and that is once again the case for Kansas City.
And that corner can be a very dangerous spot, as that's where players tend to overcommit a little bit and can be punished very easily with a goal on their own net with no defenders back. As San Antonio getting something going here, but not a lot of pressure isn't going to make it too easy, as that bump almost clearing the way, but it just goes a little bit high off the corner. Doc with the pass out to mid is going to get past the defender. It's going to fall all the way back to San Antonio quarter, and now the ball floating in San Antonio territory. That one's going to fall all the way back to Kansas City. Doc with a big clear is going to send it all the way back to that pink backboard. Doc with the pass over to Ultra with control in the full tank of boost. Doc getting an extra bump there just to try and wreak havoc. That one's going to be on target, but fall a little bit short, as it had no momentum. Maniac with control runs out of boost. It seems that the boost game especially is really plaguing both teams here, as they have a play that they can make, but just don't have the boost in the tank to make it happen.
Yeah, it's certainly been a recurring theme, and it does. I do feel like Kansas City is slightly on the upper side of the boost game. They've been able to take the midfield boost more often than not. Even when they're stuck inside the defense, they've been able to send one player out and go get that midfield, and that's helped them a lot. But they need to find some way to find this first goal, get their way back into this series. Duck is going to look for one on net, but it is turned away. Maniac is going to be hot in pursuit. Once again, without any boost to do so, it's only going to be a forlorn touch. Maybe the pass, as Doc can't quite get to it.
And we so far have 8 shots between both teams, and not a single goal has been scored with just over a minute and a half to go. That one's going to fall on target. It's going to be a breakaway opportunity for Kansas City, but Divine, able to get a piece of the attacker, is able to fend away another very dangerous situation for San Antonio. Still on the ball, running out of boost. That's going to pinch out to mid, but nobody there to take advantage of the ball in front of the net. Dangerous. No boost in the tank, is going to go for it regardless. Get some pressure going in favor, or at least keep it going for San Antonio while his teammates get boost. That one's going to fall in front of the net. It's wide open, but no one's there to take advantage. An unfortunate rotation there is going to cost San Antonio a potential goal.
You almost have to feel like if San Antonio was there on some of these opportunities, the scoreline would be like 2-0, maybe even 3-0 right now. But the fact that Kansas City has been able to keep it even means that now they can seal it off in regulation. It's turned away, as San Antonio stay alive by a thread. And San Antonio, if they don't win this game, I mean, they're going to be kicking themselves a whole lot far.
Oh, without a doubt. And you, especially with the game this close, you guys both have a lot of offensive opportunities. That one's just going to roll its way right in. There was a Kansas City defender back, but just rotated a little bit too far up. Divine with the touch off the wall is going to get the unexpected shot and get San Antonio their first goal in the game with 30 seconds left.
Yeah, Kansas City, I mean, that's a very difficult one to predict. He got like the weirdest soft touch on it that also had enough power to sink it home into the bottom right. So Kansas City, really tough spot, but honestly, kind of had to feel like San Antonio had this game anyways, especially with the amount of offensive attempts they had. So many times where it was kind of dangling in front of the net, and San Antonio weren't quite able to get to it. So this one feels like it was a long time coming, but a couple of seconds to respond now, as Kansas City looking to put the pedal to the metal, but still stuck inside their half far.
As that one, very dangerous, floats in front of the net. Divine gets an extra touch. Go over to Dangerous. Dangerous with this touch to the ground. That's going to kill it. San Antonio now 2-0 up in the series, even though these games have been incredibly close.
But I feel like the scoreline even though it's close, it doesn't feel close. I mean, you got to imagine if San Antonio started getting onto the goal line, some of these opportunities that it might be a pretty one-sided game. We did see in game number one where although it was a pretty close game, it did feel like San Antonio kind of had it on lock the whole time. And for that reason, I would not be super surprised if we saw a sweep here next game far.
It wouldn't be a surprise, but Kansas City has been warming up a lot, and it feels like in this third game, they really should be in full force. They've had a lot of offensive opportunities, especially in this game too, but they just have not been able to just capitalize on that. They seem to just fall short on boost just by a little bit or just have somebody a little bit out of rotation. And those tiny little mistakes are what's costing them very, very precious goals here.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that the one goal that we saw in game number two was the long shot from Divine on the left-hand side of the pitch that rolled its way into the bottom right. But those are the type of things you got to keep an eye out for if you're KCC. Keeping the third man back and in control, it's going to be a recurring problem for sure, but certainly one that can be tackled as we get deeper into the series. We'll see if KCC can find a rebound here, but we got match point for SAR.
And coming into game three, I'm sure I would even suggest Kansas City maybe get a little bit more physical. San Antonio had a lot more physicality in game one, but seemed to back off a little bit in game two. And you might want to take advantage of that and put some on of your own, trying to at least just starve them out of boost, as that's what was able to get them just that little bit of an offensive edge.
Oh, we're going to be starting off high here with a quick shot from San Antonio. Didn't quite find the mark this time around, but just goes to show you how much offensive firepower this roster has. Dangerous gets another look at it, and we can see Divine, who's kind of looking around on this right-hand side, looking for a big opportunity to challenge. Gonna find it here, but does not quite find the follow-up. That's just slightly wide, and there was a couple players back for KCC. They need to conserve some of that boost, though, because I feel like this attack might go on for quite a while. And there's another one turned away by Doc.
Kansas City already showing that they are ready on defense, but they've got to get something going on offense. Duck gets it over one, but Maniac's going to be there to pick it up with a full tank of boost. Gets it over the second. That's going to roll down right for the net. A shot coming from Divine is going to ping off the crossbar and go away. A very close situation there for Kansas City, but they luck out and get away with it. Still 0-0.
Yeah, that's like the third time that's happened this series, which is a little ridiculous if you ask me. The amount of times it's just been in front of the net and has not found the back has been interesting for San Antonio, to say the least, and now they are looking to hold on inside their half. There's a big one as Dangerous looking to find Maniac inside the corner. No contact there. That's going to open the door for Doc and Ultra, who's now sitting close on the near post. So he gets that one over to Doc once again. Does Doc have the boost? Well, kind of, but not really the touch he was looking for there far.
Got something on it, but as you said, just not enough speed coming out of it. Duck has an opportunity here. He's going to like to send this one off the backboard. That's going to fall in front of the net, and a shot from Ultra. The drought for Kansas City ends as Kansas City take the lead in game three.
It's the first time that they've had a lead in a very long time. Duck off the backboard. Divine in such a tough spot here. Was potentially looking to go onto the near post, but then opted for the squishy as couldn't quite get a read on the situation, and that opened the door for Kansas City. As they take a lead, Doc is going to get involved right off the rip on the kickoff flip reset. Maniac last back, and he's in a world of pain right now with Duck coming to slam it home.
A phenomenal mechanical play here from Doc. Gets all the space in the world, all full tank. Reset pass one off the crossbar. Maniac was expecting a shot right on, and it's just a wide open net from there. Kansas City have very much fallen into full form here.
Just what she wanted to see after those first two games. I mean, there were close games for sure, but still had to feel like there was something on the table for Kansas City. And now they are really putting it out there. San Antonio, you got to flash back to a couple moments ago where they had that open net and they binned it off the crossbar. And so it kind of makes you think how close this game would be had they managed to find that one. And still could very well do so as Maniac inside the midfield. But no, turned away by Doc. Divine's got the boost, but not really the possession. He does now, though. Maybe threatening the flip reset. Oh, no. There's no flip reset there. He's going to have to let that one go for now or.
Definitely going to be wanting that opportunity back. So that's going to fall to the midfield line. Divine going to be the one to pick him up. That's going to waterfall straight down in front of the net and find its way in. Divine with the tight angle is able to find it past both defenders and cut that lead in half.
Like, that's actually just an impossible angle. Like, make that make sense. Make that make sense. I feel like he just won a 50 with the near post.
I don't know. I feel like the posts and the crossbar are the best defenders in Rocket League. I've never seen anybody win a 50 on those things.
Fair enough. And, well, San Antonio, that's another shot, and Dangerous is gonna sink it. A 2-goal swing in less than 10 seconds. What are we witnessing here for San Antonio?
Just immediately all over the ball off the kickoff. Kansas City's lead that they had, that they needed so desperately, is gone within a second. And unfortunately, that's just Rocket League. If you give your opponents an opportunity to score on you, they will score, especially here in Macaroni League. They're going to take advantage of every opportunity that they are given.
All right, then, this is a big swing for San Antonio. Still on that match point, and now they've got even more to oh, no. Oh, I'm eating my words. That was as unfortunate gets here. Just inside the box, it's Doc over to Ultra and Dangerous. Didn't quite find the contact he was looking for, so there's KCC, 1-goal lead once again.
Textbook caster curse right there. I don't think I've seen a better example of it, but Kansas City now sitting up by 1. They may just want to try and park the bus and hold on defense as much as possible. Doc, last man back. Divine's going to get an extra touch. That's going to fall on target. Fakes out the shot. Maniac credited with the goal, and that's going to tie the game right back up. It feels like San Antonio have an immediate response to every single one of Kansas City's goals in this game.
For sure, but you can't help but feel bad for Doc in this situation. I mean, he totally had the read where it was going to go probably like crossbar down from the way he was positioned. And then he kind of watched it sail to the back of the net like, well, I guess that goes in. It's so sad from Doc, and you have to figure out a way to rebound now as Divine here with the air dribble. And the ball's loose just inside the half for San Antonio, but they need to get to it quickly. Ultra to try to turn it away, but not quite the 50 that he wanted to his name. Doc is going to be able to pick up the pieces, but once again, really tough spot here for KCC on the defense far.
They've got to start getting boost pads. Ultra actually getting a breakaway there is able to get his team some much needed room. That one's going to fall back into the Kansas City corner. Maniac bounce off the corner. Doc's going to be the first one there. It's a wide open net. They just have to shoot it. Put it on target. There it is. And that's going to be another lead for Kansas City. Way to take advantage there.
Still can't help but feel like this 1-goal lead is as fragile as it gets. I mean, the amount of times KCC has led by 1 this game alone has been, well, 4 times to be exact. Every single time. Does feel like San Antonio have an immediate answer. We saw the quick shot from downtown for that 3rd goal. You gotta feel like in the next minute and change, San Antonio are gonna be able to find this comeback, and maybe it starts with Dangerous here from the corner.
Doc, pass out to Ultra. Ultra poking a shot on target. It's going to be a little too slow. Divine is able to get there and get the save. Doc trying to keep pressure going in favor of Kansas City. Gets a 50 on the second man, but that one's going to get cleared past the midfield line. 1 minute to go. That one's on target. A bit dangerous there for Dangerous as they're able to scrape up the save. Duck with the shot. Duck with the open net, and Duck with the goal. A 2-goal lead once again for Kansas City.
And hat trick for Duck here. The 5th goal for Kansas City. Is it safe? I feel like that's debatable. For right now, they've got a healthy lead, and from the looks of it, their offense has certainly leveled up compared to games 1 and 2, especially with the Dog Juice game. I mean, we saw that solo play earlier. We saw the flip reset in order to set up that goal, and it did kind of feel like that was the moment where Kansas City realized they have what it takes to win this series. And it starts with this game, a big reverse sweep on their hands, but you know, got to take that first step, and that's exactly what Kansas City did here in game number 3.
Absolutely, and this, we saw their 2-goal lead dwindle within 10 seconds earlier in this game, but that one almost putting it up to 3 as that shot from Duck going to fly up off the backboard. Ultra with the follow-up is going to keep it in the San Antonio box. That's going to fly all the way back. Duck's got to race back to get there, and does. That feels like a nail in the coffin for this game, and Kansas City have finally woken up and taken a game away from San Antonio.
Oh, Duck, go on then. I mean, he's just been crazy this game. He's got nearly all the goals for KCC right now. A ridiculous pass as well to set him up. And the fact that he's been in position more often than not just means he's that much more of a weapon to the San Antonio side. And we'll see if he's able to keep up this amount of offense deeper into the series. But, I mean, the fact that they've been able to find this come around, the adaptability, like you mentioned at the beginning of game number 1, truly proven to be a great asset for KCC right now.
Absolutely, and just overall from Kansas City, they seem to have very much come into full form here. Is just looking at these stats, Duck with almost 750 points, 4 goals, 1 assist, 2 save, 5 shots. Kansas City does not have a single 0 on core stats. Meanwhile, SAR still performing very, very well. Each player credited with a goal. and still very strong on offense. But Kansas City with 12 shots to San Antonio's 8. It's definitely seeming that Kansas City has really come into their offensive pressure here.
Yeah, it's no surprise. I mean, that this game has been a shootout. We kind of knew it'd be, especially after the beginning of game number 3, where we started off pretty hot with an immediate shot on target. And from then on, it only continued to add. And you still got to think back to that one moment, kind of at the beginning of game 3, where the ball bounced in front of the net, and San Antonio wasn't able to take advantage of it. I mean, the fact that it's happened 3 times this series already, it's like, well, you better hope that's not a recurring thing, because if it happens here in game number 4, and especially if there's a game 5, I mean, that's gonna hurt a little extra.
Absolutely. And it seems like at the beginning of the series, it was quantity over quality with when it came to shots. As San Antonio did have a lot in both games 1 and 2, but it seems that it's now flipped to quality over quantity as Kansas City seemed to have more accurate and more precise shots as San Antonio is kind of just throwing it against the backboard.
Interesting. Didn't really think of it that way, but I guess I can see that for sure. We'll see if San Antonio is able to start delivering inside the offense as we get into game number 4. Still got that match point to the name, so they are relatively comfortable, but they gotta feel a little bit of pressure knowing that Kansas City fully capable of a reverse sweep. As Doc looking to take control here inside the corner to start off game 4. No 50, but Ultra there to pick up the pieces, and same with Doug, who's been arguably the man of the hour. Gets it over to Doc, and there's the first.
Great start for Kansas City. Once again, 27 seconds past. Duck with a big clear, recognizing that all 3 San Antonio players are up, and Doc to just finish it off there. That is exactly what you need to get into game 5.
And a very solid start. And it's another 1-goal lead. I mean, the amount of times we've seen KCC take a 1-goal lead is, it's been impressive to say the least. We saw that in the beginning of game number 3 as they were able to continue adding onto it time and time again. This one's going to be loose inside the box, though, as Maniac up quick. The backboard looking a little open. Dangerous there once again. Now Divine legs up to the batting plate. San Antonio looking to go full send here inside the...
Kansas City getting off defense here. Ultra's upfield, but not a lot of boost to work with. Just trying to play as much of a disturbance as possible. Duck leaving it for Doc. Doc passing up to Ultra. Ultra electing to leave it, as now Duck is going to be pushing this up to San Antonio's dangerous zone here. As that one's going to fall in front of the net, but Dangerous with an extra touch is going to get it cleared away. San Antonio now on a push, but cut early by Doc. It seems like San Antonio had been spending a lot of time on their defensive half here. It almost feels like a reversal from game 1 here.
It does kind of feel like that, but still got to imagine San Antonio has what it takes to break out, as Dangerous is able to poke it wide. We can see a pretty big boost advantage piling up here, especially with Divine lurking in the midfield with about a full tank. And be able to take a whole lot of advantage now inside the corner. Dangerous inside the half midfield, but nothing quite to it this time around. Still San Antonio, the one thing they've got going for them far is that they are able to connect a lot inside the half. Dangerous and Maniac in particular have been able to open up some of these passing lanes, and they're going to need some of that magic if they're going to come back here in game 4.
Absolutely, and that a very, very scary look for San Antonio as it floats in front of the net for a minute, but it gets cleared away without any punishment. Big clear downfield from Dangerous. Ultra's going to pick this one up. Pass over to Doc, who's waiting on the wall. Gets the extra touch, but it's not going to be exactly what they were looking for, as now it's going to fall into the hands of San Antonio. Doc with the pass off the backboard, immediately denied by Divine. Duck pass over to Ultra. Ultra electing to leave it. Divine's going to take the pass off of Dangerous. It's going to fall onto the backboard. Divine having an angle, but a quick clear away from Doc Drewski on Kansas City. He's going to keep that scoreline empty.
Oh, and now Doc has got another solid 50 to work with, and there's another challenge courtesy of Duck, who has been literally everywhere on the pitch, on the offense, the defense, you name it. Saw him with the fuller goals back in game number 3, and you got to imagine he's got a good handful more goals coming his way as we get deeper into the series. For now, KCC looking comfortable with an asterisk, but still inside this midfield is the one part where KCC still can't quite to figure it out. All the defense, they're fine, but the second the ball's in the midfield, San Antonio has that little bit of extra speed to win out most challenges. And that's put KCC in a tough spot. There's Dangerous once again.
Dangerous with the speed is able to sneak it past Doc Drewski back in the net there. He was trying to see if he could catch it, but Dangerous saw the opportunity and very much took advantage. That's going to tie the game up. Just over a minute and a half to go. This could really fall either way at this point.
Yeah, I do think it's still gonna go in favor of Kansas City, all said and done. Does feel like even though they're struggling inside the midfield, they've got enough offensive prowess to take it home. But it's still gonna come down to the execution here, especially from Doc Drewski, who's done well to lead the charge on most of these occasions. And now Doc is gonna be able to find Ultra, or he's potentially looking for Ultra here on the left-hand wall. Doc to poke it wide, and Doc is there for the follow-up, and that is a huge demo. It opens the door big for Ultra, and now Doc for the follow-up. There's the goal. There we go.
A big team play coming from Kansas City. Doc off the corner, Ultra off the backboard. It scrambles all of the defenders, and Duck with a tight angle is able to send it into the net. Kansas City really have awoken here in these last couple games.
Yeah, it all started with that demo from Doc. I'm going to be real, that corner demo. The amount of space that bought for Kansas City in that play was monumental. And now a slow floater. Duck pokes it overway, but still not quite the situation KCC would have liked to find themselves in. San Antonio still looking to keep possession to their name. A big double commit. I mean, San Antonio are going to have their way with the ball for a couple of seconds here. Maniac needs a strong 50, and it's gone perfectly his way. Luckily, Duck is back to keep that one under control. Put out the fire, and it is a world of pain for San Antonio. It's still not in the back of the net, though.
That looked very familiar. San Antonio having a very similar situation in the last game, as you were talking about earlier, just wide open net, but nobody can find the shot on target. As now, final 30 seconds, Kansas City looking to get an insurance goal and send this to 5. That one's going to fall very dangerous, but San Antonio are able to get away with it. Ultra with the recenter, a trade at midfield between Duck and Dangerous is going to put this into a 2v2 situation for a moment. Duck with a high shot is going to go off the backboard, gets a bump, gets a demo, it's on target, gets another bump. The physicality is unmatched. That's going to put Kansas City up by 2.
Dog Drewski, that is illegal. He's gone bowling, and that's a strike.
Oh,
My goodness.
That is
fair play.
That is tragedy for San Antonio. They were hoping to maybe shut this one down in 4, but now Kansas City are on the verge of a reverse sweep. After such a slow start, they have come into full force, looking for a 4th here to try and drive morale down for San Antonio. But unfortunately, they're just not going to find it. A great win here for Kansas City.
I mean, what on earth does this team do in between games? This is not the same KCC we saw in game 1 and 2. I mean, nothing similar. Duck is once again going to be leading the charge, as he has been for the last handful, or for the last game. Especially in game number 3, we saw him come up pretty huge time and time again. 5 shots to his name, and I don't really know how San Antonio is going to shut down this one player, especially when we got Doc Drewski permanently inside your net, taking out every conceivable player. Really tough combo to take out these two.
Very much. And something else I've been able to pick up on is Kansas City's backboard defense has been phenomenal, especially in this game 4. I don't think I ever saw an offensive push from San Antonio that wasn't cleared away either by someone in the Kansas City net or off their backboard, and that has really gotten Kansas City a lot more momentum going into the midfield.
Yeah, it was the big thing that they struggled with in the beginning of game number 1, especially was getting the ball off their backboard and into the half. Maniac was able to take advantage of that a couple of times, but just kind of feel like that advantage has faded now. Game number 5. KCC with all the momentum here coming into the reverse sweep. What do you think, Far? Can they do it?
I don't know. I feel like San Antonio's got some secret hidden in their sleeves, but Kansas City has been on fire the last 2 games. It's really a toss-up at this point. It's going to be up to whoever can put more offensive pressure on.
It might come down to this first goal as well. KCC did score first back in game 3 and 4. Allowed them that little bit of breathing room to continue building onto it, especially inside the midfield. Having that little bit of extra confidence meant they were able to take an inch and turn it into a mile. Now Divine with a really tough position here inside the corner. That might have opened the door for Ultra just a little bit, but the shot didn't quite find the mark. Now it's going to be Dog on the defense. Really cannot give enough flowers to Dog in the last couple of games. I mean, may not have all the goals. It might be Doug doing the shooting, but the amount of work Dog has done inside the half has just been incredible.
Absolutely. And Kansas City have seen a lot of offense already within this first minute, as now San Antonio able to sneak it around two players. Doc sitting on that ball, going to leave it for Ultra. That one's going to fall over to Dangerous. Dangerous with a high shot. No Kansas City defenders really ready for one on target. Is now Divine send it off the backboard. Doc off the backboard is going to get that cleared away. An extra bump there to confuse Divine, not give them too much to work with. Now Duck, a big clear, is going to send it over to that midfield line. Bump Dangerous out. That's going to leave that ball loose in Kansas City territory. It seems like Ultra's just been permagoalie for the past couple seconds here. And now San Antonio have a lot of offensive pressure, but they just have not been able to capitalize on any of their opportunities.
Oh, Maniac, that stings. He had the perfect setup there to take it home, but bumped off the play. Still, San Antonio keeping some good possession about them as Dangerous puts himself in front of the net and he screens off the last defender. Now he's coming in for the shot, but no, turned away courtesy of Doc. Old boost for Doc. Looking to cook here inside the half. He's past one. Duck closely in pursuit for the follow-up. But Doc might go the full way, and he does. Wait, Duck is scored? Well, sure. Why not, I guess.
Duck with the goal still there, but Doc, but just again, being able to outmaneuver and outplay everybody, and Duck able to get the last piece of that, get credited with the goal. But Kansas City now up with just over 3 minutes left. San Antonio got to get something going in their favor.
Yeah, things have just gone from bad to worse here for San Antonio. And you got to imagine if Kansas City are able to lock down a second goal, I might see this series coming to a very early end. San Antonio been a little bit silent inside the half. Now Duck can't quite find the angle. Maniac needs a little bit of room to shine. We got Dangerous who's screening off the last defender, going ahead for the bump. Now Divine. A really good opportunity for him, but cut off inside the box. There's still good signs of life here for San Antonio, but that Kansas City backboard defense, like you mentioned earlier, so far been holding the test of time.
Duck with control, not a lot of boost to work with. Gonna get the demo on Divine and rotate out. Ultra has an opportunity, but a big clear away is going to remove all that pressure. Divine with the extra touch is going to send that bit awkward here for Doc. That one's going to fall on target. That one's going to fall so close, but Ultra with the goal line save is able to keep it out. Now it's pushing back onto San Antonio territory. It's going to fall in. That was it. That's what San Antonio's opportunity, and it falls back on them so hard. Oh no, that's got to be a big morale killer for the Revenge.
Yeah, those 2-goal swings are never going to feel good, but in a Game 5 reverse sweep, that is the worst possible feeling you could have here if the San Antonio Rebellion is going to take a heroic effort to rebound and get these 2 goals under control. But we've seen them do it before. You see them do a 2-goal, oh, but you're not going to be able to pull it off, and Ultra is just going ham inside the box. That's going to be his second goal here in Game 5.
Ultra generally taking a bit of a back seat when it comes to scoring, but has definitely come out in this game and said, nah, I'm going to get some stats of my own. Kansas City now up by 3. It's a tall order for San Antonio to come back at this point.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit out of reach. They've just been stuffed inside their half more often than not. Maniac has done well to try to contend with some of this midfield, but at the end of the day, it's just been all Kansas City carnage, as Duck has been leading the charge along with Doc Brewski to get these goals up and rolling. And, I mean, you mentioned Ultra, like you said, a little bit silent in prior parts of the series, but the fact that he's come alive here means that Kansas City are really putting everything they've got into this reverse sweep. Now they're holding on. Minute and change. It does feel like they've gotten the bag far.
It does, but we did see San Antonio score 2 quick ones in under 10 seconds, so this game can very much turn over very, very quickly. Duck getting a challenge on Dangerous. That's going to fall into the San Antonio backboard, but cleared out to midfield. A bit of a team bump there is going to make Kansas City scrambled back on defense. Fake pass Duck, shots on target, another double commit on defense. That's going to be an opportunity for San Antonio, and it pings off the crossbar.
Oh, no.
Again, that crossbar has been the bane of San Antonio's offense since game 1, and it strikes again.
I mean, at least in games 1 and 2, they were able to kind of get away with it just by sheer quantity. But they're not even finding the quantity. The fact that Kansas City has been able to level up so big inside the midfield. Ultra hat trick for him in game 5. And I think that's going to do it. A 4-goal deficit. I don't see San Antonio coming back to take this one.
I'd have to agree with you also. Doc Drewski picking up a playmaker medal. That's not something you see very often, as a lot of players, especially in MAC, tend to try and play a little bit more headstrong on offense, but it seems that this team has very much practiced their chemistry and has learned to be ready for their teammates. Duck up off the backboard. Maniac can't find as much of a touch as they would hope, but a pass from Doc to Duck is going to fall just a little bit short. Ultra's going to have to scramble back here to keep this goal line clear. Gets it past one, fakes it past two, gets it past three, but Maniac's able to scream in and get the block, but it is all for naught as Kansas City are able to complete the reverse sweep on San Antonio Revenge.
An absolutely ridiculous performance from KCC. The adaptability truly shown from this roster. I mean, the amount that Doc was able to change in between games, his playstyle literally went 180 in between game 2 and 3. Like, he went from being a chill midfield player to all of a sudden bumping out the entire defense inside the net to score goals. That's the KCC roster you're looking at for, and I would not be surprised to see this team run deep.
Absolutely, and even have a very long run through this season. Ultra picking up over 800 points in this game.
Lord.
Again, kind of took a back seat, just played the rotational flag there, but definitely, as you said, came out in full force in game 5 here and picked up so many stats. That has to be a huge event for Kansas City, and I know for a fact they are losing their minds in their team call right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a victory worth celebrating for sure. San Antonio, this is going to be a rough one to look back upon, but hopefully one to build upon. Some great signs of life in the first 2 games, and that is something you can use as we get deeper into the season. But for now, we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, some more United Road reactions. Don't go anywhere.